In today's episode, we're checking out one of the nicest communities in one of the safest cities in all of Houston. In fact, it's the #2 rated safest city in all of Texas. And we're checking out some of the most beautiful model homes that you could ever see. We're going to talk about pricing, incentives, amenities, everything that you need to know. If that sounds good, stay tuned. Fulshear, Texas was just recently rated as the safest city in the greater Houston metro and the second safest city in all of Texas. And it is no secret why all of these developers are flocking out to the Fulshear area to build beautiful communities. And today I am in one of the most premier communities in all of Fulshear. Today we are in Jordan Ranch, and we're going to check out some of the model homes, some of the amenities, and everything that you need to know to make sure that Fulshear, Texas and Jordan Ranch is the place to go for you. And one of the reasons why I absolutely love Jordan Ranch is because it has something for basically everyone. You're going to have builders ranging from that entry-level product all the way on up to your dream homes and some of your more custom builders here in the metro. And so to have that price point of entry level somewhere around 4 and then creeping up to as high as you want to go, that's always a beautiful thing, and usually is a great recipe for a great community, especially when you have builders, some of your favorite builders on my channel. You have your Weston Homes, you have your David Weekleys, you have your Highland Homes, your Perrys, all of those heavy hitters that y'all come to this channel for and you know and you love. They're all here, and that usually is a great recipe for a great community. So up first, we're going to check out the 45-foot section from David Weekley. This is their model home here, and it is a one-story, around 2,000 square feet. I think this is the Woodworth plan. We'll verify that once we get in there, but let me know what you think. Let's go check it out. That would normally be your garage. See some of the collections that they offer now. Secondary bedroom, kind of used as a model home stage for finishes. Nice flex space. This can be used as an office. I've had clients get this plan and then close this wall up to make it like a full defined space. But you can use it for whatever you want to use it for. You kind of got an informal dining room. I've also had people close this wall up to make it more formal. Nice open concept feel. Really great size, primary. David Weekley's Super Shower.
Now, one of the critiques that some of my buyers that are coming to look at some of these size lots that are under 50 foot is many times the model homes will have a super shower and not a tub. It doesn't mean that you can't get a tub in there. Most of these model homes take a lot of feedback and do a lot of surveys for what their client base is typically like. And oftentimes, many of these builders will have a super shower in there just because the demographic that they're targeting like showers over tubs. Tubs is a little bit more of an old school thing. So keep that in mind, that it doesn't mean that you can't have a tub in here. It just means that the surveys that they have gotten over the last couple years have said their clients would prefer a shower, and so that's what you see in the model. So what did you think about that gorgeous David Weekley home? I really like David Weekley because they seem to do a really great job of giving you nice high-end finishes, but at an affordable price. Price ranges over here, I'll put it on the screen, but it's going to be somewhere in that like $400,000 to $500,000 range is kind of where you're going to be with the 45-foot section out here. This is, like I said, one of the premier communities out here, so it's going to pretty much follow the pricing trend of the width of your lot is going to be about what you should expect to pay. So on a 45-foot lot, you should be expecting somewhere in that like 450 to 500. 50-foot lot, you should be in that like 500 to 600-ish, 60-foot lot, so on and so forth, right? So that is something to know and expect when you come out here to this community, is that they are going to follow basically the lot pricing trend, like most of the more premier communities in the metro. And for all your one-story lovers, you're going to really love this model home community, because I would say 90% of the model homes in this community of Jordan Ranch are one-stories. And so for those of you that are tired of the big huge 2-stories, or you feel like that's not your look and you just want a really elegant 1-story, damn near all of the model homes over here are 1-stories. And so I'm kind of loving it as a person that's a little bit more 1-story biased. But now let's go and check out Perry Homes' offering and let me know what you think. Hello.
You're back?
I'm back. How you been?
Y'all had on there?
Yes.
So what did you think about that 2545 Perry homes? Gorgeous. I love the big one-story Perry homes. Really tall ceilings throughout. It's one of those things where the square footage, you would see the square footage and maybe not feel like that may be enough, or that it will feel not quite as grand, but Perry does an amazing job, and they're probably one of the best, especially on one stories, to make a space feel way bigger than it is, or than the number would dictate. And if you're not familiar, this is a 2545 with the Perry naming system. The name of the plan basically tells you the square footage that they have. So this is right around 2,500 square feet, and that is just a really grand one-story home. I love it. It was 4 bedrooms with a media space. So what I've seen some other clients do in the past is maybe change out one of those bedrooms and make it an office and keep the media space, or they change that media space into an office, whatever your needs kind of dictate at the time. The pricing for a 50-foot lot, like I said earlier, is going to kind of dictate and be somewhere in that like $500,000 to $600,000 range, depending on how crazy you go. As far as incentives that they have right now, they're doing interest buy down to under 6%, or money towards closing costs, whatever you need. They have something for you right now. But that was the 50-foot. We're going to go over here and check out the rival in this community for 50 foots. We're going to go and check out the Highland home offering and see what you think between these two, because that's more of a closer comparison. So keep that one in mind. Now we're going to go check out the Highland. I think I see Virginia's car. If she's in here, we'll go and say hey, but if not, we'll just go and take a tour of the Highland home, and then we'll step on up into the dream home sector, where we get into that 60+ foot lot offerings over here. So stay tuned. Let me know what you think. Excuse me. Ceilings feel taller in here than they even do in the Perry. Crazy. Really pretty. And they got a family in here that I'm about to try to dodge, but they're not really moving out the way. So we'll see how this goes, but I'll try to protect their privacy as much as I can, but somebody's got to get this footage. So from an upgrade standpoint of upgrades that I've seen out here already, this is probably between a $5,000 to $6,000 bump out. The normal house would have stopped at this corner. This is gonna be about a $12,000 to $15,000 add right here. So just from what I'm seeing right now, it's about 20,000 in ads just for this little patio area. But without the little bump out, wouldn't be super bad. Be a little bit tighter, but I don't know if that's worth it. But this is just some of the things that when you're coming to look at model homes, fall more in love with the layout, not necessarily what you're seeing, because a lot of these model homes are going to be elevated to kind of show you the full out dream home. If you go all in and all out, what you can do. And just knowing the pricing process of this, I'm seeing 20,000 out here already. The bay window would be another add. I believe that was close to 5 as well, 5 to 10, somewhere in that zone. Super pretty. So this is Highland Homes. This is the Oxford plan. This is around 2,600 square feet, and I think it is gorgeous. But what do you think comparing it to the 2545 plan by Perry Homes that we just checked out? A couple of stats about this particular pricing on this one, and I'm a little bit shocked to see it because it kind of breaks away from the norm that I just talked about. So it's making me look bad. That's okay because it's a better deal for you. When you typically see a 55-foot product in the metro, that means that typically the pricing in a premier community is going to start somewhere around 500,000 to be 500,000 plus. In this community of Jordan Ranch, it looks like as of right now, the pricing for a large majority of their one-story options are well below 500,000. There were some things on the price sheet that I saw 440 up to like 460 as a start. So to get something that is this wide in a community that is this premier under 500,000 is crazy to me to hear. This model alone is like right above 500,000 in the 55-foot section. And so that is crazy news to me. And that means that just based on the recent touring that I've done in the Houston Metro, that this is one of the most affordable 55-foot sections of Highland homes that you can get in the Metro right now, which is a good thing for you as the buyer. Second thing, they're doing great incentives right now. They're paying down your interest rate if you qualify with their in-house lender, Highland Home Loans. They're doing $20,000 towards your closing costs or paying down your interest rate, whichever one is the best decision for you at that time. Also, if you're building ground up, there's also money right now as we're recording of this video, $20,000 towards a design center or structural changes, however you want to use that. But a lot of money being thrown your way. And the most important thing that I just saw on their most updated documents was that the tax rate out here is now 2.88 before homestead, which is one of the lowest property tax rates that I have seen on new construction in a premier community in a very long time. Every once in a while, I'll see one that's sub 3, but it's really in a community where it's nothing but houses and maybe sidewalks. Literally nothing. But to have this location where you're very close to the KATY Mills Mall, you're very close to KATY, you're 10 to 15 minutes away from KATY and all of their infrastructure. You have all of your commercial support for the surrounding communities that are popping up out here. And to be in this location and be paying under 3% before homestead exemption is kind of crazy, and it's something that I couldn't go any further in this video without letting you know. So definitely something to consider. But what did you think about this overall home? This is the Oxford. Like I said, Virginia wasn't in. I was gonna put her on the spot and put her on camera, but she wasn't in right now. It looks like she's out in the community touring, but maybe next time I'll catch her. But what did you think about the Oxford plan versus the 2545 on the Perry homes? Which one are you picking? All right, so now that we have checked out the entry-level products, we saw the David Weekley out there that's gonna be in your 400,000 kind of range. We have checked out both the Perry homes as well as the Highland homes in the 50-foot section, so that move up, starting your family, that family home where you wanna be in a nice master plan community at an affordable price. Both of those kind of accomplish that, staying well below 600,000. But now we are going to creep up into what I would call Dream Homeville. And we're gonna start over with the Highland homes as well as the Perry homes. I see a Weston, but it looks like they're in the meeting, so we'll see if they're available for me to show. And then at the end of this, we're gonna end up seeing that J. Patrick, which is one of the more customizable builders in the Metro. Let me know what you think. That was a crazy plan from Highland Homes. I love their 2 series, so like your 215, 216s, all of your big 1-story plans. I love them. They're some of my favorite ones. Everybody knows. If you've been following this channel long enough, you know that I love a big 1-story Highland. These right now, so they are more in line with what the pricing and lot sizes would be over here. They're in the 60-foot sections, and so they're going to start right around 600,000, and you can go as crazy as you want to as well. But again, this is definitely going to be a more affordable community than some of the other communities that I've sold these same plans in. You would get a little bit of a discount here, and you would get a little bit lower taxes over here, so it would definitely be a more affordable community to build or to buy in, just based on those 2 parameters alone. But what do you think about that one? All right, so keep the big boy Highland in mind. We're gonna go and see if the big Perry is open, and then we're gonna save that Weston for the end, as well as this J. Patrick if they're open, and let me know what you think. Let me know which one of these is the most enticing reason to bring you out here to the country of Fulshear, Texas to call it home. But you know what's even crazier than this model that is behind me is the fact that you haven't called, you haven't texted, you haven't hit the comment section, you haven't hit the like button on this one, you haven't said, hey Aaron, you're my favorite realtor that I'm watching on YouTube right now, and when I make the decision to buy a home out there, you're gonna be my guy. You haven't done that, and you're kind of hurting my feelings, so I'll give you a couple seconds to do all of those things. Hit that notification bell so you're not missing any of these beautiful luxury and master plan communities that we are discovering and dissecting together. I want to make sure that you have all the latest info and everything that you need to know to make the best decision for you. But in order for me to make sure that you're getting the best deal and that you're going to the best location for you, you got to hit me up. But now let's hop into this Perry home. So I haven't had a client build this one yet, but I do have clients that are building the bigger version of this, the 4411, in Bridgeland right now. So we'll keep them anonymous, but shout out to them. This is a little tester to see if they're still watching videos. But yeah, it's the same sort of inspiration, just a bigger version. This is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Game room, media room, however you want to use it. In the 4411 plan, which is a 80-foot product. You can have both. So in my client's house, they have this space and then a media space off of that front hallway. So you wouldn't be able to do that in this community, but in some communities you would be able to. This is an ad to follow the vaulted patio look. Just gorgeous. So a couple other things to note. This is a 65-foot product for them, so it's gonna be wide. I don't know if you noticed on the Highland home that we just left, because they are over the 55-foot mark, they also get the wider front door. So when we go back in there, you'll see that you can kind of see it behind me right now. Yeah, there we go. You can see the double door, so that is a marker of kind of how wide your house is here in Texas. Typically under 60 feet, you're gonna have a one door. It could be a nice oversized door, but once you get above 60 feet, that's when you'll typically get two really nice sized doors. You're gonna also have these big wide windows typically on your 60-foot products as well. So just a couple things when you're out here looking at some of these model homes, if you're not quite sure what size home that you're in, the first giveaway is how many doors you got up front. If it's a one door, it's probably under 55 foot. If it is two doors, you're probably over 60 foot. Gorgeous one-story plan. Like I said, there are not many people in the Houston metro that can top a one-story plan from Perry Homes. They just do a really great job of making whatever the space or whatever that number is feel much grander than it is, by really tall ceilings, by really wide corridors. They just do a really great job, and that is one of my favorite. And also on the channel, this is one of your favorite model home tours that I've ever posted on my channel. So it may look familiar to some of y'all. A lot of y'all are new, so let me know what you think about that home compared to the Highland home that we just checked out a few moments ago. They're all going to be in that same kind of price point of the 600,000 E plus, depending on how crazy you go. They both have one-story, two-story options. They just showcase some of their more popular models out here as the one-stories, but let me know what you think. Now, as far as community amenity goes, this thing has a lot. This is a Johnson development, and so they typically do a great job of getting you a lot of things to do within your community. Here, I know for a fact you have tons of bikes and walking trails and lakes. You're going to have a community pool. You have a sunset farm over here. You have a gym facility here. There's just a lot that you have in this community, but that's no shock if you have any familiarity with what Johnson Development typically does for their communities. This is right on par with some of the best of them, and I think that if you are looking for a community that is well-rounded, has a lot of different sections, has a lot of different widths, so the whole community doesn't feel super cookie cutter, this is definitely going to be one of those ones that you want to check out if you're looking on this side of the world for sure. As far as schools go, when you're in a community that is sub 3, you are typically saying to the masses in a coded way that the schools in that area aren't going to be as good. However, in this community, that is not in fact the case. You're tied to Lamar ISD, Lamar Consolidated ISD, which is one of the top rated school districts in all of Houston. And so to be in a community that has offerings of people this high caliber of a builder that you all know and love, to have a community that has all the amenities, the swimming pools, the walking trails, the lakes, all of those things that you know and love, the farms, all those things that you care about, to be in a community that looks like this and also be tied to great schools with a low property tax rate is a win and a win and a win that you can't really get in so many places. But it looks like we are now at our West End destination. Let's see if it's open, and let's go take a tour of one of the favorites for you guys. This is looking like a Carter plan. I'll confirm that when I'm in there. But just looking at the peaks that I'm seeing right now is looking kind of Carter-esque. We'll go see if that is in fact the case, but everybody loves a Westin, and whenever there's a Westin in a community, I gotta go and check it out because y'all love it so much. So let me know what you think. Classic Western Rotunda. So whenever people reach out and say they want the spiral staircase, it typically means that they're talking about a Westin home, because I don't think I've seen a Westin home that didn't have that in it. Texas game room up here. Nice size landing. We'll see if Dana has something to say about this one. So what did you think about that gorgeous Weston home? I'm a fan of Weston. I know a lot of y'all are fans of Westons. Every time there's a Weston in the community, you typically want to see it. You typically show a lot of love on those Westons. If you're not familiar with the big change and the elephant in the room with Weston homes is although they are gorgeous and although their models look outstanding, they have gone almost completely away from a ground up builder. They are doing inventory products where if you don't know what inventory means, that basically means they pick everything, they pick the lot, they tell you what's going to go in that house, and you can decide whether or not you want the name of the Weston and what that base model home basically looks like, or if you are wanting to get a custom option or a custom offering and going with another builder. But at this current moment, they no longer do dirt builds. They basically are going to have sections of lots that they have within this community. They may share some with some other builders, and they'll have these 10 lots in this section, and they're going to pick all 10 homes, and you can decide whether or not you want the entry level house or if you want the biggest house in that section, but you'll have no choice but to do all of the work and changes that you would want after the fact, because like I said, they no longer do dirt builds, which is disappointing because a house that is that size and a person that could afford a house like that wants some customization. So it's been one of those things where a lot of my clients that come out here looking for a Weston, they figure out that they can no longer build ground up and have customizations, and they end up going with someone else, just because you don't want to spend $700,000-800,000 and then have to have projects to make it what you really want. Now, I will say that the beauty in that is you know what your price is, and so there's no guesswork. There's no going to the design center and maybe pricing yourself out of a home just because your eye is a little bit bigger than your wallet. So you will know what that house is going to cost you. What you see is what you get. So there's no surprises, and if you like it and it's appealing to you out the gate, then it's a good fit for you. But for those people that have a high budget and want that customized feel, you'll no longer get that with Weston. So as we head into this last model home, I understand that buyers sometimes just want to come and check out a model and just live and dream a little bit. They don't want to have someone kind of all on their back and assuming that they're going to be trying to sell them something. And I get that 1000%. Many of the times I'll send my clients a list of some of my favorite communities and have them go check it out by themselves. So I understand the feel and the vibe. Just to look at a model, you don't need me there. But the moment you get into that point where you are thinking about potentially being serious about putting in an offer, even if I'm not here with you, if you put my name, my number, my email down when you sign those guest cards, when you're signing in, that way I'll be able to be that buffer for you and make sure that you're getting the absolute best deal, the best opportunities, the best availability in the city. Because if you go that route by yourself, these salespeople, although I've worked with some of them here and I know that they're great, Their job is to sell you on something here, right? And so if they aren't the best opportunity, they're going to probably sideswipe around saying that they are not the best opportunity for you. But to have an agent as a buffer that works in the entire metro and isn't tied to one community is definitely a great service and a value to you, because you know that you're going to get the best deal for what you are looking for in the metro. And the only way that you can do that is if you hit me up and if you put me down on that initial visit. Even if I'm not with you, I would prefer to tour with you, but hey, I understand how it goes out here and I'm down to help in any way that I can. But the only way that I can do that is if when you go and visit these people, if you just say, hey, I'm here with Aaron, or Aaron sent me here, and put my name and info down, that way I can be that buffer for you and make sure that you get the best deal that you possibly can. But now let's go and check out this home. Now this is living. This is crazy. Based on this one, there's obviously, this being a model home, there's gonna be some adds here, sliders and things where there would normally be sliders, built out spaces where there wouldn't be built out spaces. But the base on this one is $750, give or take. So again, kind of mentioned how I mentioned earlier, you have a great variety here of entry level all the way on up to dream homeville, and I think this would definitely qualify as a dream home. And the base on this one is hovering just shy of 800. But this is crazy though. This is giving like Bridgeland style model home over here. This is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So we just walked out of that gorgeous, gorgeous home. What do you think? So they have 55-foot lots all the way on up to 70 plus. And you can get some oversized, you can get some lake lots, you can get whatever you want to do. For a size house that is this wide on a 70-foot, you're going to be somewhere in that like $750,000 to $800,000 base. And then you can go as crazy as you want to go over here. But that is Jordan Ranch. It has great availability. It has outstanding builders, some of the highest quality in the whole community and all of the Houston metro. It has great schools tied to Lamar Consolidated ISD. You have great amenities because you're in a Johnson development community, so you know you're going to have your resort style pools, your lakes, your walking trails, you're going to have your farms, all the things that you know and love and care about in a community. You got easy access to and from KATY and the surrounding suburbs. You have just been called one of the safest cities in all of Texas, and you got a gorgeous community like this featured inside of it. It is no secret why Jordan Ranch is a top contender out in this area, but is it enough for you?